Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Proper Plays YouTube channel. Today is Thursday, January 30th, and I'm back bringing out some more college basketball plays for you guys. 10 minutes left, or 10 minutes, 10.9 seconds left in the Alabama-Mississippi State game. We have Alabama plus 1.5 going up against Mississippi State. They are up by 1 point right now on Wednesday night. Xavier, they were in that game the entire time. I don't think that game ever got out of single digits the entire time until the last 4 minutes. Creighton just kept making threes when Xavier got close. Xavier just could never close that gap all the way. They were close. They were a possession away. It felt like the entire game from flipping the script, and Creighton just kept making huge shots. And credit to them, they were at home. They were making the shots. Crowd was into it. They hold off Xavier for I think it was an 11-point win for Creighton in that game. We do have two player props that have hit. Ryan Conwell, over his 14.5 points. He had 4 at the half. He came out with like 9 or 10 points in the first 4 minutes for Xavier in that second half. Finished the game with 18 on a steal. So if you got a bad number, you're hitting the over points there. Aiden Holloway, 4 points in the first half, came out in the second half, hit 2 threes, and then a nice little push shot on the right wing, or right baseline, to go over his 11.5 points. And that one was minus 130 on FanDuel. It is currently 86-84. Don't know who's at the line right now because I keep showing the coaches for some reason. 86-84. We have 10.9 seconds left. Also, Josh Hubbard is an absolute animal for Mississippi State. He has not missed a shot since I've been watching, I feel like, and there's a turnover for Mississippi State. I think Hubbard might have 40 points. It was a confirmed turnover by Mississippi State and a foul. So I think Bama's going to win this game. Good win for Bama. Good win for Bama. We're going to move to 3-1 on the day. We'll just keep stacking 3-1 days. I'm fine with 3-1 days. Let's move on to tomorrow. For the first play today, I am going to be taking Nebraska on the money line. It says plus 4.5 right now for them at home. I don't want the points. This is one of those games where you look at the schedule, you look at how these teams have been playing, and you look at their chances to make March Madness. Nebraska on the road at home, they've been pretty competitive this season for the most part. They're currently on a 6-game losing streak. 6 games in a row that they have lost. They've got it. This has to be a win. There is no other option for Nebraska. If they lose this game, they will not be playing in March Madness. They've got to win this game at home. Illinois, better team. Illinois, better roster. Illinois, better players. Illinois, everything they do better than Nebraska, I feel like. But I've seen Nebraska play. They had a pretty good loss to St. Mary's very early in the season. I had St. Mary's in that game. Nebraska played well. They lost by 3 points. They have lost to Michigan State early in the season as well, but looking at the schedule, they rounded off some really good wins going up against some pretty poor teams, but then they had conference play, and everything's just been downhill from there. They haven't been real competitive in some of these games, but they have been competitive in other games, especially the games at home. Rutgers lost by 3, USC lost by 5. This is a game Nebraska's got to find a way to win at home. I don't care about any of the stats, anything. This is just one of those things in college basketball. The environment, the emotion of what's going to happen in this game is going to, cancel out any skill that Illinois has. So this is going to be one of those things that I'm just going to stick with my gut and take Nebraska on the money line, even though they're the worst team, even though they're on a 6-game losing streak. College basketball is weird like that. Give me Nebraska on the money line as the play here for the next play. 2 teams that I really haven't broken down a lot. The only thing I know about Memphis is that they're so inconsistent and almost made me vomit. I think it was against Temple. I'm pretty sure I took Temple. Yeah, I did. I did take Temple with the points. I did not expect them to win the game. They were like plus 12 at home going up against Memphis. They ended up winning that game outright, 88-81 is what I'm seeing. They were horrible. They were horrible in every aspect of that game. Also, the game against Wichita State, they won that game 61-53. Probably one of the worst games I've ever watched in my life. The turnovers, the inconsistent play, just the boneheaded moves, the coaching from both sides, the shot selection from both sides, the overall team chemistry for the Memphis Tigers on that day was horrible. So I think this Memphis Tigers team has a lot to work through. And you see that star there for the Memphis against the spread. I wanted to make sure that I got a pretty good number on this game, and it's 6.5. That's right on the edge of where I was thinking it was going to be. I told myself if it was under 8.5, I was going to take Memphis. If it was over 8.5, I was going to take Tulane. So I'm going to take Memphis, but I'm not very confident at all. There's not a whole lot of games tomorrow. This is one of those games that's going to be on national TV. You're going to be able to watch it on Fox Sports, I believe it is. So I wanted to break it down because people are going to be able to watch it. I don't trust Memphis at all in this game, but they are the better team going up against Tulane. Tulane's got some pretty good players, going to be breaking one of those guys down on the player prop side. One of them went to Georgetown, my team this year. So I just think Memphis has a lot of good players. PJ Haggerty's been a monster. Colby Rogers is good. In that game against Wichita State, he was horrible going up against his former team. Maybe the nerves got to him. But overall, the guard play from Memphis, the down low big boys from Memphis Williams, he's going to be enough in this game to beat Tulane. So give me them -6.5 as the final play of the day. Let's go to the player prop side. We're going to start with that Tulane game. This is a guy who played at Georgetown last season, Rowan Brumbaugh. Again, Georgetown last season, sophomore. He was decent with Georgetown, 8.3 points per game, came off the bench, tried to give them some spark, and he's really a three-point guy. He's once again going to have to be a three-point guy for Tulane to beat Memphis on their home floor. He's coming off a pretty good game, 12 points on 10 shots, only made 1 3 on the season. He's been very good from three-point land. He's made 3+ threes in 3 of the last 4 games. They're going to need him once again in this game against Memphis. And the reason I really don't like Memphis is because they don't play defense. They really don't have a defense whatsoever. Ranked bottom 200 this season in college basketball. They're giving up a ton of points per game. They will leave Rowan unchecked in this game. The guards of Memphis, they just don't play defense. This is what it is. They score a bunch of points per game. They just don't play defense. But I like Rowan in this game. Over the 12.5 points, probably 13.5 is my guess, 14.5, because we're going to get not a discount going up against Memphis, one of the worst defensive teams in the country. So give me his over 13.5, maybe 14.5 as the first play here. And for the final play of the day, I talked about Nebraska. And what they need. This is their leader this season, Brice Williams. They're on a 6-game losing streak. They have a senior who's scoring 18.2 points per game. He's shooting nearly 50% from the field. He's got to figure out if he wants his last season to be a failure or if he wants to pick up his team and win this game at home, saving their chances for March Madness. This game's all on him. Nobody else matters. He's got to go over the total. He's got to score 20-plus points in this game against Illinois, and he's got to do it efficiently. He's coming off a game where he scored 11 points on 12 shots going up against Wisconsin. They got blown out in this game. They got blown out in that game on the road against Wisconsin. Tough place to play in Madison. I understand that loss. At home this season, he's been much better than on the road. This is just a game where I'm going to take the best player for Nebraska. I'm going to take the senior leader for Nebraska. I'm going to take one of the better scorers in the country for Nebraska to go over his total points in a must-win game. I think he does lead his team. And I think this Nebraska team's decent. I don't think they're going to be a giant killer come March Madness time, but if they want to get to March Madness, they got to win this game. So give me Brice Williams over his total points going up against a tough-ish Illinois defense. I'm going to trust him in this game. He does have multiple 20-plus point games this season already. So over 18.5 is my guess. Maybe 17.5 we get lucky, but over 18.5 for the final play of the day. Let's go to the recap graphic. We're going to be looking at Nebraska on the money line. It's just all about heart and grit right now for this Nebraska team. 6 consecutive losses. You got to win this game at home to keep your season alive. I think they do it. Memphis going up against Tulane, -6.5. Again, not extremely confident in it, but it is going to be a game we can watch and a game we can learn from. Brice Williams over his total points going up against Illinois, probably going to be 18.5, 17.5 if we're lucky in a must-win game. Then Rowan Brumbaugh over his total points, 13.5, 14.5, going up against a pretty bad Memphis defense as the final play of the day. Guys, it's going to do it for the NCAA basketball picks and props for Thursday, January 30th slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure to drop a like this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.